Hello and welcome to this week's episode. Where do they live? A deep dive into illegal immigrants in every state. Got it? Get it? Good. Let's take a look. Number 10, Utah. For being a state that isn't exactly a hotbed for anything other than Mormons and incest, Utah does have a fair number of illegal immigrants. The Pew Research Center estimates that there are 72,000 living in Utah as of 2016. That's just an estimate. It could be more. Who really knows? I mean, they are illegal immigrants. The Census Bureau estimates that there are almost 300,000 illegal immigrants living in Utah, which would put them closer to number 4 on this list. Number 0.9, Washington. This should be no surprise to anybody. If you didn't think there were illegal immigrants in Washington state, then I'm guessing you get your news from Fox News and believe aliens are running the government. Washington is very much a sanctuary state, or I guess you could call it they turn a blind eye state. They know they're here and they don't really care. Maybe they'll even help you if you need it. But when it comes to reporting you to the feds, they're probably not going to do that. I mean, it's Seattle and Tacoma where they have the biggest population of illegal immigrants. And those are liberal cities. It's estimated there are around 76,000 illegal immigrants living in Washington state. Number 8, Minnesota. I was shocked to see Minnesota on this list. I didn't think there were any illegal immigrants in Minnesota. My whole thing is, why would you want to live in Minnesota? And my second thing is, if you were illegal in Minnesota, how cold would you have to be before you decided to go back home? I mean, it gets downright frigid there in the winter. And we all know that if you're illegal, you're probably not working in air conditioning all the time. I did some research on this one, and apparently there is a Somali community in Minneapolis that has made that city one of the best places for someone fleeing Somalia to end up. So that explains it. But what doesn't explain it is how come they didn't stay in North Dakota? North Dakota needs people. They've got jobs, they've got housing, and they've got winters that are just as bad as Minnesota. But they don't have Somalis everywhere. In 2016, it's estimated that there were around 78,000 illegal immigrants living in Minnesota. Number 7, Missouri. You'd think, with Missouri being a very red state, they wouldn't be too keen on letting illegal immigrants live among them. But like a lot of states on this list, it's the sanctuary cities that really draw the illegal immigrants. In Missouri, that would be Kansas City and St. Louis. These two cities combined account for almost half of the illegal immigrant population in Missouri, and if you haven't been to either one of these cities in quite some time, they really suck now. They used to be great cities! Now they're just full of crime and poverty. If you're an illegal immigrant looking for work, though, these two cities will offer that and not ask a whole lot of questions. Just show up and start working. No documents needed. At least that's how it was a few years ago. I doubt things have changed much. In 2016, it was estimated there were about 80,000 illegal immigrants living in Missouri. Number 6, New Jersey. New Jersey is another state that should come as no surprise. It's right next to New York, and everybody knows there's a ton of illegal immigrants in New York. New Jersey, like Washington, is also considered a sanctuary state. Or, I guess, again, you can call it a sanctuary-ish state. They don't really care if you're illegal. You need food, shelter, maybe a social security card, driver's license, or a lawyer. They're going to be there for you. I don't know if they charge you regular prices for those things or if they kind of like a discount if you're real illegal, but they are definitely there for you. Most of the illegal immigrants in New Jersey live in Newark, Elizabeth, Edison, and Hackett. In 2016, it was estimated that there were about 86,000 illegal immigrants living in New Jersey. Number 0.5, Indiana. Like Missouri, I was surprised to see Indiana on this list because they a very red state and they very much a conservative state. Now, don't get me wrong, they're not like Mississippi where you won't find a Mexican restaurant that serves beans and rice, but they're not going to be serving you any burritos or enchiladas either. When you think of Indiana, you think corn, soybeans, and racism. I had a lady tell me once, she's from Indiana. She said they don't hate anyone. They just hate outsiders. I thought that was pretty accurate. When it comes to illegal immigrants, Indiana is no different. They don't want outsiders. In 2016, it was estimated that there were around 90,000 illegal immigrants living in Indiana. Number 4, Georgia. If you watch the show Snowfall on FX, you get a good idea of what Atlanta was like in the 80s when it comes to illegal immigrants. Now, that show isn't completely true, but it's based on a true story. I mean, they didn't have a drug epidemic back then, but that show is mostly true. Back then, Atlanta had a big crack problem. Crack! Like the drug, not the comedian. I grew up outside Atlanta in the 80s, and I gotta tell ya, it was a little scary sometimes. It was also pretty cool. There were a bunch of different gangs back then, and there was a lot of violence. But it was also a lot of fun. I mean, I was in high school during that whole era, and nobody thought anything of it. We went to school, partied on the weekends, and tried not to get murdered. But yeah, Atlanta had a pretty serious drug problem, and still does. But it's kind of died down a bit since the 80s. Back in 2016, there were around 93,000 illegal immigrants living in Georgia. Number 3, Maryland. Another state that should be no surprise is Maryland. Maryland is very much a liberal state, and they're very much into social justice reform and stuff like that. The only thing they're against is people taking their sweet tea. Don't touch the sweet tea! You take my sweet tea! I'll murder you! When it comes to illegal immigrants, they don't really care. As a matter of fact, I read a story about a county in Maryland that was giving free cell phones to illegal immigrants so they could contact their families back home. And the county was getting reimbursed by the federal government for the cost of these phones. You'd think Maryland would have been embarrassed or ashamed to be doing that. But no, they doubled down on it. They're like, oh, no, we're helping families stay in touch. They didn't say anything about how they were illegal and shouldn't be in this country. But whatever. Maryland likes aing. In 2016, there were an estimated 106,000 illegal immigrants living in Maryland. Number 2, Illinois. Here's another one that should be no-brainer. Illinois is very liberal, and they love illegal immigrants. Well, I shouldn't say they love them, but they're okay with them being here. Chicago and suburban areas of Chicago have the largest populations of illegal immigrants in Illinois, and it's been that way for decades. I remember going to a bar in Lincoln Park in Chicago in 1993. There was a group of guys at the bar watching the World Cup. Back then it was called the FIFA World Cup. Nobody called it that. But they were watching the game, and they were all obviously illegal immigrants. I couldn't understand what language they were speaking. One of them noticed me staring at them, and he motioned for me to come over and sit with them. And we watched the World Cup together. He bought me a beer and we talked about soccer and life. One of his friends kept trying to get me to buy drugs from him, but I told him I was straight. This was before I was married. I was single. And he kept telling me, you gotta get with program, man. You gotta make some money. You can sell these puppies all over the place. I'm like, no thanks. Then he turned to his friend and he goes, this guy doesn't want to get with the program, but he's definitely an idiot. And I'll never forget that. They reminded me of the old cartoon Ren and Stimpy. The one character was always trying to get the other character to commit crimes and stuff, but the other one always refused to do it. And he was always called an idiot. That's kind of how this conversation went down. Anyway, in 2016, it was estimated that there were 107,000 illegal immigrants living in Illinois. All right, before we get to number 1, don't forget we have another channel. There's a link down below. Also, if you're watching this on YouTube, you might as well hit that subscribe button. All right, on to number 1. And no, 1, California. Yeah, this should be no surprise. California has always been a sanctuary state for illegal immigrants, and they're still coming here even today. Every year, the population of illegal immigrants in California grows. I read a study that said it's about 10% annually. So if we were to take that study and extrapolate that out over the next 5 years, in 2025, California could have anywhere from 3 to 4 million illegal immigrants living in the state. That sounds crazy! I mean, that's close to the population of the entire state of Connecticut. It's estimated right now there's about 2-3 million illegal immigrants living in California. That's just an estimate. Some say there could be upwards of 5 million. I saw one report that said there could be as low as 1 million. But I'm going with the middle ground here. We're going with the 2-3 million. When it comes to where these people live, Los Angeles County leads the way with 48% of those people living there. Orange County is second with 12%, and Riverside County is third with 10%. So when you combine those three counties, that's about 70% of the illegal immigrants that live in California. You'd think after all these years, they'd spread out a little bit more, but nope. They're all in the southern part of the state, not just Los Angeles, Orange, and Riverside, but San Diego, too. San Diego is known for its beaches, perfect weather, and illegal immigrants. All right, that's today's video. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Hope you got some information out of it. Now go out, have a great day, and be nice to each other.